What's up, people? It's your man, Herb Lover, coming from your mama's basement. Right now, what I want to do is I want you guys to listen into this video that I'm about to play from First Take. It's done with Raw Parker, Skip, and Shannon. Raw Parker is actually a guest on the show today, and they're talking about Magic Johnson mishandle of the Lakers. Anonymous scout ripped Lakers future. Magic has destroyed that place. And they're basically going to just chime in on, their take and opinions according to this article or this information that came out. And Rob Parker's going to chime in first, and he's going to talk about certain things. And as he chime in, I'm going to chime in on all these guys to give you my opinion. And you know me, I don't deal with the bias. I'm not biased. I try to give my opinion just from looking a little bit more deeper than what the average person try to look at it as. So with that being said, let's get the video rolling.
Do you think there is any truth to that?
There's truth in some.
Look how the way she said that. Truth to that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. Woo. Let me shut up. You know what I mean?
Some of that. That was a strong quote there.
Yeah.
I mean, even the.
You say, yeah. I'm sorry. You know me, guys. You know I'm a comedian, so certain things like that get me going, man. Just the way she said that. If you listen to that, like, just like a woman just say truth to that, and yeah. Just think about it. Just imagine it. But, don't have your mind too dirty. I'm just throwing it out there. Don't have your mind too dirty, guys. Too much going on in the world. So I want you guys to go ahead doing something you got no business doing. Just keep it lightly. All right, let's get back to it. Let's get to Rob Parker. My bad, Rob. Go ahead and talk.
Giving Tyronn Lue a heart attack. You know what I mean? That was
Almost.
kind of,
He needed a sabbatical.
right. But that's kind of strong, though. But yes, is there something to this? Absolutely. This has been mishandled from the beginning. Starting even before this started with Paul George. I've said this, Shannon, that Magic not wooing Paul George is the reason why this won't work out in LA. Because had they started with him to go with LeBron, look at where they would be.
Right.
And then they would just be looking to add another piece.
Now, I told you guys about that, about the Paul George situation. Magic Johnson was real hyped about LeBron James, tweeted about him about 3 or 4 times before he became vice president of basketball operations for the Lakers. Paul George was actually right there. I know a lot of fans say, well, Urban, Paul George signed with the OKC Thunder as soon as the 12 o'clock, the hand got on 12 o'clock, he signed with him right away. I said, yeah, but you fail to realize is this. No one really reached out to Paul George that whole time when LeBron James was thinking about coming to LA. Once LeBron James was thinking about coming to LA, everything just transitioned to Paul George. And it wasn't just Magic. It was the media. It was everybody. 90% of most of the fan base was hyped about LeBron James coming here. You had a small portion of fans say, oh, hell no, we don't want him here. We want to keep the legacy of Kobe and everything else going. But at the reality of it, everybody basically turned away from Paul George. And I said that because we didn't show Paul George the same gratitude that we showed LeBron. Paul George felt some type of way. Remember, Westbrook went out their way to have a cookout for this man. We didn't do nothing. We thought that because we're the Lakers, we're going, we basically had it in the bag. We weren't going to we don't need to make no move on Paul George because we're focused on getting LeBron. And mostly when we get LeBron, he's a superstar. So who wouldn't want to play with LeBron? This is what I'm thinking that Magic Johnson had in mind because no one ever talked to Paul George. No one. They didn't talk to Paul George, like I said before. I know the front office can't talk to Paul George until the trade till the trade kicks in. Well, the freezing market kicks in July the 1st. So no one really talked to him. But LeBron, like I said before, these players can communicate with one another. They can communicate with one another. And like I said in my videos back then, no one reached out to Paul George, especially from LeBron James status. If you want to get a superstar here, you could have reached out to Paul George and say, hey, man. Because remember, Paul George reached out to LeBron in Cleveland. Not really reached out to him, but he put it out there in the atmosphere that, look, if LeBron signed another year, if LeBron signed a nice little long-term deal with Cleveland, I will come there. But LeBron decided to get out of there. He decided to leave Cleveland. But remember, Paul George stated that before he left OKC when he was in Indiana. And LeBron signed a 1-year contract. All right, so let's finish this with what Raw Parker got to say.
You sure Paul George just wanted no part of it?
Well, but I'm just saying, but part of it was, and I get the LeBron factor, but I'm saying Magic thought it was in the bag. And you can never believe, Skip, it's in the bag. I got to woo you. I got to tell you I want you. I can't say, oh, this is the Lakers. Everybody wants to play here. Because you know what? In Kobe's final years, nobody wanted to come here and play with the Lakers. Dwight Howard gave up $30 million to leave the Lakers. These are all true facts.
And what he's saying right there is true as well. I talked about that as well. A lot of fans try to criticize me, but I told you guys, the whole time Kobe was here, we never got a superstar via free agency. They all was basically trades. No one wanted to come play here with Kobe. It was that they didn't want to play with Kobe because they looked at Kobe as competition, or they didn't want to deal with Kobe's mannerism because the way Kobe carries himself. You know, very, you know, he just basically carried himself in a way that, you know, he was cocky. Let's be honest. He was cocky, said what was on his mind. And, you know, a lot of guys probably feel as though that Kobe was about the business, which to me personally was nothing wrong with it, because if you want to win, you want to go with somebody that you basically want to win a championship with. Because if Kobe would have got another superstar, just imagine how many more championship Kobe would have won on his belt. So and he probably never got hurt, you know, but, you know, at the end of the day, it is what it is. We're not going to talk about the past, but just keep that in mind, that a lot of people, a lot of players, they respected Kobe, but most of them wanted to play against Kobe, and some of them just want to come here because they weren't ready to deal with Kobe's persona. They just weren't ready to deal with it.
So I'm saying Magic has not handled it right, and now here we are. Yes, LeBron is an aged superstar. He doesn't have the same impact. The numbers are still good, Shannon, but would you agree?
Yeah.
The impact isn't there. They couldn't beat the Hawks. They couldn't beat New Orleans without Anthony Davis. They couldn't beat Memphis. They couldn't beat the Suns. I mean, it was just ridiculous. This is after they...
All right, and what Rob Parker is stating is true. Because remember, LeBron James is the one that said playoff activated. So when he put that out there like that, you know, everybody was thinking like, oh, LeBron would turn it up a notch in order to get these guys to the playoff. Almost similar to what he did with the Cleveland Cavaliers. The big difference is, and I've been telling you guys when LeBron first came over here, is that the West is much more stronger than the East. Regardless of what anybody say, but you can just look at it for yourself. The top, 9 teams? 9 teams can actually, well, the top 10 teams can make it over there in the East in the playoffs. Look at the playoff, look at the East, and look at the bottom 2 teams in the East. And look at the bottom 9th and 10th teams in the West. So the East only got the East only got 2 to 4 strong teams, if that actually can probably go toe-to-toe with somebody in the West from 1 to 8. So in retrospect to that, you know, fans were thinking that, oh, because, you know, he carried Cleveland, a bunch of journeymen and non-superstars, besides Kevin Love, you know, to the finals, that he could do the same thing with the Lakers. But I beg to differ. The only reason why is because, like I stated before, LeBron James' system just doesn't work in the West. In order to win games, sometimes you got to humble yourself and play according to what your coach is trying to put out there. You know what I mean? Sometimes you have to change up. It goes that way. We know your superstar status, but we have to also remind ourselves that this is the West, it's not the East, where you can basically go ISO and carry a team. It's not going to happen. You need the help of your players. All right, go ahead, Rob.
Still had a chance to make the playoffs, but they had a chance to make the playoffs. And then you look at it and go, where do you go from here? What will Magic be able to do? And I don't think there's a lot that he can do. If nobody wants to come play with LeBron James, you're in trouble.
Now, with Rob Parker state right there that no one wants to play with LeBron James, you're in trouble, I have to disagree. And the reason why I say I disagree is because by me being a Lakers fan since the early 80s up to now, I have been basically watching and monitoring the team. And I'm not even going to basically think about the past. I'm going to talk about now. The biggest problem with the Lakers is that they got young players that they just choose not to develop right. This is the reason why the Lakers are in trouble, only because their players are not being developed right. You've seen what Brandon Ingram did after the All-Star break, how his numbers just shot up. Kuzma being Kuzma, the only biggest thing about Kuzma is just he had to work on his defense. But when it comes to ISO plays, or not really ISO plays, but it comes to getting his shots, Kuzma can do that. Lonzo Ball in the last 3 games, I keep saying it because I want to make sure that you who call Lonzo a bust, yes, those fans that call him a bust, and even these media outlets who continue to think Lonzo is a bust, the last 3 games that no one really talks about is when Lonzo started coming into his own, taking shots, attacking the basket, and he was a part, I forgot, was it Chris Bozier? I don't know who it was, but one of these guys even came out and stated that he don't know how to finish around the basket. Clearly, it shows that they do not watch the game, because over the course of the season, Lonzo Ball has got better attacking the basket and making shots. The only biggest problem was always his jumper. But attacking the basket, yeah, last year he had a problem. He couldn't finish around the basket. But this year right here, he was actually attacking the basket. The only thing that he had to add to his repertoire of attacking the basket is now looking for initial contact, so that way he can get to the free throw line and build up his character, just like James Harden, LeBron James, anybody else does. It adds, adds opportunity to your point status. But let me let Rob finish.
When you look at how are you going to get Anthony Davis? If I'm New Orleans, maybe I don't want to make a trade with the Lakers no matter what they offer. And then when you start to look at the pieces, Brandon Ingram has a serious situation with the blood clots.
They said he's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but it also was the reason that Chris Bosh's career came to an end. I'm just saying, Lonzo Ball hasn't been able to stay healthy in either of his 2 seasons. So when you start looking at the pieces, are they at...
Now, this is true. But see, here's my problem with that. And please excuse me for the dirt bikes. Yeah, Baltimore, we known for dirt bikes. If y'all don't know now, check it out on YouTube. Anyway, when he states that about Lonzo Ball hasn't been healthy for 2 seasons and Brandon Ingram with the blood clot, you have to look at it like this too. Has Anthony Davis been healthy for the whole season of his career? So at the end of the day, even if we trade off 2 injured dudes for another injured dude, we're still in the same dilemma. And the reason why I say that, because here's the thing: you got an aging LeBron, right? Then you got Anthony Davis, who has not played over 80 games, well, has not played 80 something games, or most that he played was 72, and that's only out of 2 years. This year probably is the most healthy, but they barely played him. But know why they really didn't? If y'all understand, the reason why they really didn't play Anthony Davis is not because they're basically setting him up to be traded. They're not playing him because they know that he's injured prone. That's what it comes down to. That front office been there the whole time Anthony Davis been there, majority of them. So they know that Anthony Davis every season gets injured. So in order to protect your investment, we're going to let you play limited minutes so that way we can make sure that your trade value stays the same at the end of the season. Because just say if they let Anthony Davis play the entire season, a regular 4-minute game that he's been playing like 35, 40 minutes, there's a possibility that he might get injured, and it might be an injury that might, basically end his career. We don't know because he's always getting injured. So in order to protect my investment, I'm going to make sure I don't put him out on the floor as much so that we plan on getting rid of him at the end of the season for some good quality players. That's why Dell Demps got fired, and I truly believe that the Lakers still might make that move for Anthony Davis. That's my own opinion, but let's get back to what Rob.
As attractive for New Orleans. So say you can't get Anthony Davis for another year until his free agency. When you add that up, add the fact that LeBron did have something to do with the players that they did bring in. It wasn't just Magic. I do not believe that Magic brought in those guys without talking to LeBron.
And this is true. And that's why when I make this video, it's going to shock a lot of you guys, because this is going to be a video of my opinion on what I think about this front office this whole season with LeBron included. Because I told you guys, this is Magic and LeBron. This was not written for Walton. Walton was basically he was already basically targeted at the beginning of the season. And I'm gonna drop a video. Like I said, I'm gonna drop the video about that. I don't want to give out too much information about that. But the whole point of where this offense was set up, it was not for Luke, and it definitely wasn't for LeBron. So I want y'all to keep that in mind. I don't want to give too much information, but it wasn't for Luke, and it definitely wasn't for LeBron. So let's keep that in mind, because LeBron, the way LeBron run his system, he needs shooters. So make sure we understand that. All right. This is Magic, LeBron, and Pelinka sitting down, making a decision without Luke Walton. And I want y'all to understand that. Put your thinking caps together. Let me go on.
James, I don't believe that for 1 second. So it's a mess. Instead of calling him Magic Johnson, probably Tragic Johnson for the job he's done so far. It's been that bad.
I know. It's
no
worse.
way. And when people say it's been a total failure, it has. Nobody, not you, and not you, Jenny, thought that the Lakers wouldn't make the playoffs when LeBron James came here, even with the injury.
True.
How many consecutive years has the Lakers missed?
Now here comes Shannon Sharpe, because you know what, you understand Shannon Sharpe is he's in LeBron James' closet, so he's peeping out. So he's going to defend LeBron. And I want y'all guys to listen to what Shannon say. I'm going to chime in on Shannon as well. And we're going to address that too. So let's get into it.
It's the playoffs.
It's 6 now.
So was Magic the GM all those 6
No, he
years?
wasn't.
So let me ask you a question. Who gave Lou Alding 4 years, $72 million?
It wasn't Magic.
Hold on, wait a minute now. Skip, didn't he have his turn to talk?
Sorry.
This is not. I'm posing this to you, but this is not a rhetorical question. I don't want to answer.
Okay, be quiet.
Who gave Tim Mozgov 4 years, $64 million? Was that Magic or Mitch Kupchak? So I believe a lion's share of the.
I'm going to stop real quick, only because I want to interject on that. Now, we understand, for those that don't understand or those that's just joining in, Jim and Mitch, they did this in order to get back at Jeannie. They knew that their time of being in the front office was up. So in order to hurt his sister, he signed those long-term contracts to Tim and Tim and Lou. And the reason why they did that is because they knew that if they get these draft picks, in order to get a superstar or in order to move forward, you have to package up those two guys with somebody or somewhere down the line is going to hurt you for the next 4 or 5 years. That's what they did. They did it to basically get back revenge against Jeannie. You cannot look at this any other way because ain't no way in the world Jim Buss said that if I don't get I'm trying to remember what he stated, if I'm not mistaken. He said if he don't do something to that effect, if he don't do something by building a playoff team or getting a superstar, guys, remind me in the comment section what it was. It was something that he said that if he don't do something, that he's going to step down as the vice president of basketball operations. He said he's going to step down. I remember something to that effect he stated. So this was their way of hurting Jeannie. This goes to show you right then and there that Jeannie is like distance away from the NBA. She's a businesswoman, but she's not there. That's why Jim and Mitch was able to run it how they wanted to run it. It's the same thing when it goes to the Magic Johnson and them. The only difference that Jeannie probably told Magic and them is this: you can do whatever you want on that court with that team. The only person that is protected by me is Luke Walton. Simple as that. And he gave Magic Johnson the whole green eye, well, the whole red light to do what they want to do with that team. So let's keep it moving.
I believe it's Kupchak and Jim Buss because for 4 years before Magic arrived, this was in a tailspin. Magic said this is only his second year on the job. Yep. So I think we need to get now. He was gearing up for 2018, 2019 because it was going to be the big year of the free agency. He got one. No matter if you say, well, LeBron was coming here.
Skip, I know you want to defend it, and I know you're about to say it right after I say this. LeBron was coming anyway because of his off-the-court situations. It just makes sense because he's much closer to LA. He's getting to the point where his career is almost towards his end, so he's building up a career outside of the NBA lifestyle. So let's make sure that we understand that, Skip. I know that you love LeBron. We all love LeBron. He's a brother, but at the end of the day, you got to call it for what it truly is.
Anyway, he still got him. He's in the Lakers uniform. So if he gets one more, he would have done what he said he's going to lure 2 big-time free agents. Yep. He said, I'm clearing cap space so we can have the space to get 2. Yeah. He has one. He has to get one more. Skip, look. And we say LeBron doesn't have the impact, but the players that he's playing with, do they have the impact?
See, this is what I'm talking about when the media controls the narrative. Shannon does not watch LA. He don't watch the basketball games. Only time he watched the basketball games, probably this year, probably watching LeBron. But because he's a biased fan of LeBron, he's never going to blame LeBron. Always remember that. A biased fan is never going to blame their idol because they worship their idol. So in retrospect to that, he's not going to talk bad or disrespectful about LeBron. He'll talk about other players. But when it comes to somebody that he idolizes and worship, he's not going to talk bad about him. So what he does, he deflects. That's what the average American does when it comes to like any type of issue or a disagreement. Instead of sticking to the topic, we deflect. So what Shannon Sharpe is doing, he's deflecting from the point of the conversation to say, well, it's not LeBron. Does he have help? That's what you're going to look at. The Brandon Ingrams, the Kuzma, the Lonzo Ball. Not once did he say about LeBron humbling himself playing in Luke Walton's system. They're going to point the finger at everybody else, but not LeBron. Let me finish.
I don't think so. So that goes into it as well.
So he just said, I don't think so, meaning that he does not have help. And for those fans who are basically just joining the Laker fan base, for those who never really watched the Laker games and all this and that, you would probably say the same thing too because you really didn't follow the Lakers as much. Only time y'all probably follow the Lakers is, like I said, YouTube, highlights, ESPN, Fox Sports, and all that, in order to see what's going on. But I'm gonna make it clear, as I say in all my videos, Brandon Ingram is not a bad player. Brandon Ingram is a future All-Star. Y'all got a glimpse of what he can do after the All-Star break, after the AD situation kicked in. Y'all seen him dropping 28 points, basically blocking LeBron James out his mental and just playing his game. Y'all know what Kuzma get, because remember at the time everybody was so hyped about Kuzma, forgetting about Brandon Ingram, calling Brandon Ingram a bust. But Brandon Ingram was just playing in Luke Walton's system. That's why Luke Walton always praised Brandon Ingram, because Brandon was the only one that really played within his system. Lonzo Ball as well. But Brandon was the main one. From the time Luke was there, well, the time that Brandon came there, up until now, he's the only one that really played in Luke Walton's system. And Luke Walton's system is based on ball movement and getting the open shots. Because Brandon was not a big three-point shooter. Luke Walton, he basically, that's why Luke Walton allowed him to bring the ball down and basically set up the other players that like to shoot. Because Brandon just wasn't really, his mentality wasn't to shoot threes. It was attack the basket. Once Luke Walton figured that out, he allowed Brandon Ingram to drive into that area of attacking the basket. Once Brandon Ingram started getting much more better with his Euro steps and his position, and when he get to the basket, he started becoming better. That's the time of development. Because what you fail to realize, remember, these guys came in as teenagers. They were young. So by them being young, they're still learning the NBA level. So in retrospect to that, if you just be patient, like LeBron said when he first came here, then basically you will see the development of stars. You don't need to really go get a superstar. All you really do is need to build up Brandon Ingram, Kuzma, and Lonzo Ball and put good quality players around them, with LeBron James humbling himself and being a mentor. These guys are not bad. The problem is that the fan base, because they don't see no quick development, because the average individual only have a 5-minute attention span. That means in a common denominator, based on that, they do not have enough time to actually wait and be patient for the development of young players. For example, look at the Denver Nuggets. Look at the Utah Jazz. Look at the Sacramento Kings. Look where all these guys, the Golden State Warriors, besides picking up KD. Look where all these guys are at right now. All these teams are at, respectfully. In the playoffs. Portland Trail Blazers. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, they basically built up their team, been patient, and they got their teams where they want to go. Trusting in the coach, trusting in the front office, and making the things happen. Let's get back to Skip.
LeBron needs pieces.
I meant to say Shannon.
I don't care how good of a puzzle solver you are. If you're missing pieces, you can't put it together.
But see, what Shannon's saying, this thing, when the LeBron led Lakers with 21-4 in the 4th place, no, he was not. Instead, he was walking around with the GOAT face on, all that, smoking cigars and all that, all happy and excited. But as soon as everything falling apart, now we need pieces and all that. Some of these people are the same people that are sitting there saying LeBron James and the Lakers are going to get to the finals. The biggest thing that they fail to realize is the two major things that hurt the Lakers was the AD situation and LeBron James being injured. And not just LeBron James, but also the rest of the players as well, who've been in and out throughout the whole season. They're the two biggest major factors that hurt the Lakers. It wasn't so much about free throws, because the Lakers could still win by shooting bad free throws. That was proven as of last year when they won 35 games on bad free throws. This game, they had bad free throws, and they still had a good record before everybody started, getting injured. And LeBron James wasn't expected to be injured for that long period of time. Me personally, I still don't think that he was injured for a long period of time. That's just me thinking that. I believe that he was doing something else, and I'll talk about it in my next video. But let's go ahead and chime in. Well, go ahead and finish in what Skip got. I keep saying Skip. Shannon got to say.
Rob, did LeBron have anything to do with that roster? I'm asking you, Shannon. Did he have any input? Yes or no?
I don't think. Hold on. The way I look at it is like when you go into a new situation. When I first came here, I ain't asked for anything. I'm happy to have a job. Now, maybe a couple of years in, I might be asking for some things now. But beforehand,
I'm going to stop right here, and I'm going to say this real quick. Rob Parker asked Shannon, did LeBron have anything to do with that roster? Shannon going to say it's on Magic. He ain't had nothing to do with it. But we all know, and this is any superstar, before they bring anybody in, they're going to ask that superstar about how they feel about certain players. And what do you want to go from here? Especially if that superstar is making them money. The superstar always going to have the upper hand if they're bringing that franchise or that organization money. That's the same thing with you could say any superstar that you think of. When you have a superstar caliber type of player, the organization always going to look out for the superstar first. Keep that in mind. So yes, LeBron James has something to do with the roster, because him, Magic, and Pelinka sat there and they discussed it. And Magic clearly said, these are the players that we picked. Who's we? Not Luke. LeBron, me, and Pelinka.
So now it might be a little different. I believe the first year, Brian was like, oh, that's what you want to do? Okay, go ahead. I'm not so sure this year round, Rob, LeBron is going to be as receptive or acceptive of what's going on.
Interesting. So the reason we just read this anonymous quote, scathing quote, is because The Athletic polled a dozen league sources and asked them to rank the 3 teams now.
I just want to hear what Skip got to say a little bit, and then after that I'm going to close this video out because it's already past 24 minutes. I don't want to go it too far, but I definitely want you guys to to hear this, so that way we can all chime in and get a little better understanding of how the Lakers organization is, how the media is, the media is just playing both sides of the fence. That's what they're doing, and I talk about this all throughout my videos. But let's continue with Skip.
Outside of the playoffs, based on this current.
By the way, Skip, my man, he's like the devil advocate. He's always majority of the time he's wrong, but I just like the way that he does things, because it always, sometimes some of the stuff come back. Skip say crazy stuff, but sometimes some of the stuff he say, it comes back, and some of the stuff be true. But let's see what Skip got to say.
Standings with the brightest futures. Right. So it was on a point system, and Dallas, because they got and they got Kristaps, right? So they got 32 points to lead the way by far. Sacramento was second with 25. Atlanta was third with 22. And then you have to go way down here past Chicago. Oh, here's
Chicago.
Yeah, past under Chicago is the Lakers with 5. Chicago got 7, and Lakers got 5. So all these executives, these insiders, are all saying the Lakers have a very bleak future. Now, again, I keep telling you, there's one magic potion that would change everything. If KD and Kyrie just suddenly said, let's just go to LA and save the Lakers and save LeBron's legacy and help him win one more championship, or maybe a couple, 3 more. Who knows?
Right then and there, you already know that the only one I can really see coming here is going to be one out of the two, if they come. And the reason why I say that, because KD doesn't want to be under LeBron James' shadow. His whole thing is to prove that he's just as good as LeBron. That's why you won't see KD come to LA. Now, if LeBron wasn't in LA, then, and just say we had Paul George, you could see somebody like Kevin Durant coming to LA. But other than that, no, see, Kawhi Leonard, out of everybody that's out there, Kawhi Leonard is the only one that really fit LeBron. And the reason why I say that Kawhi Leonard is like Scottie Pippen. He doesn't mind being in second place. I know there's a quote that came out that said that he don't want to be second fiddle to LeBron James. That quote, to me personally, I don't believe that was true. I believe somebody else or somebody just tweeted that. And the reason why I say that, because remember, Kawhi at the beginning, he reached out to LeBron about coming to LA. People fail to realize that. Remember, Kawhi reached out to him. He wanted to go to LA. And this is after LeBron was already picked up by the LA Lakers. So Kawhi came out and said that he wanted to be, he wanted to go to LA, this and that. So we have to understand and realize, after that, I think that Kawhi Leonard and then probably DeMarcus Cousins would be the best fit for the LA Lakers. The DeMarcus Cousins situation, we could have got him back when he basically was going to sign a 1-year deal for what, $500,000 or $5 million. But the Lakers did not want to go that route because they wanted the whole point, keep in mind, their whole point was to make the playoff right away. But they didn't get a chance to make the playoff, but that's the reason why they didn't go with DeMarcus Cousins, because they wanted to basically go get a center they think they're going to help them get to the playoffs. That's the whole thing in a nutshell. Even though they said we're going to take it slow, the first ingredient was to just get to the playoffs. And then once we get to the playoff, we deal with the situation there. But because they didn't make the playoffs, everything just fell apart. But me personally, I said it before, and I said in my videos a while back, they should have grabbed DeMarcus Cousins for $5 million, because now a healthy DeMarcus Cousins would have been a lot better. If we lost Zubac, it wouldn't even matter. So in retrospect to that, there's no guarantee that we might get DeMarcus Cousins, because now there's statements coming out that the Golden State Warriors, if they lose Kevin Durant, DeMarcus Cousins is talking about re-signing with the Warriors, and he might just sign for 15, 18 million, whatever. I don't know how much he might sign for. It depends on what they got, and also it depends on what they do with Draymond Green. But with that being said, let's listen to Skip, and then I'm going to close this out.
That would do it. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Sure, but what are the chances of that?
Okay. Well,
I think KD just listed his top 5 players, greatest players of all time, and LeBron wasn't on the list.
Well, okay.
They just joking around now, so there's no point in really listening to Skip. I wanted to really let y'all hear Skip what Skip got to say, but Skip funny, but I really wanted to address really Rob Parker and Shannon Sharpe. The reason why I wanted to address these two, because you get a biased fan and then you get a non-biased fan. You know what I'm saying? What I mean by that is that Rob Parker, he's not a fan of LeBron. He liked LeBron, but he's not a biased fan. I mean, he's going to speak what he thought. And even though a lot of people don't like Rob Parker, but right now you have to agree with Rob, only on the strength that a lot of things he stated has come to tuition. So you got to take it all with a grain of salt, but you got to agree with him. Now, Shannon Sharpe, he's biased because he don't want to hear what is the truth. And that's how a lot of fans are. No matter how much you present facts and truth to them, they do not want to hear that. Why? Because this is their idol. This is what they worship. And because this is what they worship, they don't want to hear none of that. Now, in retrospect to that, has Magic Johnson mishandled the roster and everything, or just the organization as a whole? According to this season, yes, he has. with the Ivica Zubac, this is what Shannon, Skip was going to talk about. With the Ivica Zubac situation for Muscala, letting Lou Williams go as soon as he got there. And, basically all this was based on the open up opportunity to have more money on the table for contract. Because remember, Zubac, I think at the end of the year, is a free agent, if I'm not mistaken. So, you have to look at all those scenarios and figure out what is Magic Johnson's game plan here. Do I tie up another player for the strip that I might try to get a superstar and I got to have money free? Because remember, y'all forgot, Lou Aldain's contract is stretched. Meaning he's still paying this man over a couple years. It might be, the point is y'all might not see him on the roster, but he's stretched out. So I think it's like $4 or $7 million per year. So then you got to think about, then you got like a whole bunch of people that you got to resign, because remember, all these guys are 1-year deals. You got Lonzo Ball, who's going to be making a nice little amount of money next year too. So, and then remember, Brandon Ingram after this season is a free agent as well. So you got to look at all the scenarios and figure out what is the next game plan, because as a business management, and I know a lot of y'all play NBA GM, so y'all should understand what I'm talking about. As a business management, you got to figure out what is my next step. So before I destroy Magic Johnson, yes, I do not agree with the way Magic Johnson handled this season, but before I bash him and turn him down, I will at least give him this season to see if he land another free agent. If he doesn't land another free agent, then I have to say that Magic Johnson, he basically fell. At the end of the day, it doesn't. He just made a mess. That's how I look at it. Because LeBron James is stuck here. He's on a 4-year deal. He's stuck here. That thing again, but like at his 3rd year, he does have an option to get out. But around that time, he'd be like what, 37, 38, close to that age, so 36, 37. So and then you gotta look at it like, where does he go from there? So his window is real short. So the only thing I can see, to be honest with you, if I was the Lakers, is I would just try to get one of the free agents that's coming out this year. I wouldn't try to make a trade to get rid of young players, just to bring AD in here, because to me, AD still wouldn't fit the mold of LeBron James type system. It just doesn't work. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I just don't see it working. But that's just me. But I was gonna let y'all listen to Skip, but I'm gonna go and end this video because it's already like 30 minutes. And it's just too long, and I know a lot of y'all probably don't want to listen to all this, but I just want to bring that out right then and there. My personal point of view is that once you understand the dynamics of what Magic Johnson and LeBron James and that front office is doing, then you understand why all this is taking place, all this mess is going on. And this is just my take. This is just my take at all. But at the end of the day, this is what we got, Laker family. Hoping that we do something better, but I'm going to go ahead and end this video. With that being said, it's your man, Herbal Lover. Like, share, subscribe, get in the comments, tell me what you think. I was going to let you listen to the whole video, but it's too long. It'd be like 40 minutes, and most people don't even have that long of attention span. But anyway, y'all take care, have a blessed one, and most of all, please be safe out there in them streets, because them streets don't love you.